Welcome back to the Comic Book ASM Artist. Today we're doing one of the last new comic book day hauls for a little while due to the scare with the sickness going around. I'm sure many of you have heard that the company that ships comics all over the world, Diamond Distributors, is shutting down for right now. That's not to say there won't be new books at some point down the line, but as of April, no new comics for a while. So I got um, some books from my local shop, the last new ones, and I still have some coming from my other shop in the mail. So they're doing curbside pickup type of thing. So and even now, like I'm filming this later in the day because they have just kind of random hours right now because everyone is trying to look for other avenues and things just because that's the climate of the situation right now. So I did get my new books from my local shop, but what I did from the shop too is I got they have 100 count mystery boxes, and I got three of those. So I have 300 blind comics over the course of who knows how many weeks. I will pull about 20 books from those boxes, and there'll be a total surprise to me as well as you. And I do have 10 lined up that I pulled today since the books from the shop weren't a whole lot of ones either. So, but we're going to go ahead and get started, and I hope you enjoy it. So, first off, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Jenica. This is issue number 2. I believe this is the normal cover, but I do like it. It has a kind of a cool look that a variant cover typically has, but I think this is the current, just a regular newsstand cover, but I think it looks pretty good. And then this just continues. Yeah, here's all the other covers here. And then the lighting's kind of crazy in here too. So I'm doing this just based off of sunlight through a curtain because I'm in a new space now too. This is our upstairs, what will be studio space. We had someone move out recently, and about half of this room is like emergency food storage and stuff because we wanted that to be in the house rather than in the shed, just because people might try to break into that if it ever came to that, unfortunately. So I'm in a new studio space too. I still brought the artboard up here. This is just resting on a coffee table. But this story takes place in between where the ongoing Turtles is right now. So this is just kind of a story about Jenica coming to terms with being a turtle now, and a Ninja Turtle. So this is kind of like her misadventures. So in the previous one, she went to a rock concert, and basically there were some guys there who didn't like the cut of her jib, so they started a fight, and naturally she had to finish it. So that's Jenica number 2. Who knows when number 3 will come out? And then we got Turtles 104. This is the Eastman cover, which, as you all know, my shop likes to hold the Eastman covers for me because they're nice like that. And this continues in the vein of a fallout. There was a bomb that turned a ton of people into mutants after Baxter Stockman was elected mayor of New York. And so there's like a whole sectioned off part of New York that is just like a mutant town, essentially. And so they're dealing with these little like ferret creatures who were set off to come in and destroy the food supply of a group that came to odds with the people that had the food supply. Basically, they used to work for them, and they were using excessive force. And old Hob, the guy on the cover here, he let them go, and they weren't a fan of that. So this is the fallout from the bomb. This is, I want to say 5 years or so after that happened. So everyone's kind of age, and all of the turtles are just kind of split and not on good terms with each other. We see them talking a little bit more here, but there's not like that common family bond right now. They're just kind of all just really at odds. And then Splinter did die in issue 100 of the Turtles, so they don't have that guiding force of Splinter with them either, so they're kind of taking it hard. The next book here is one you don't typically see. This is Sonic the Hedgehog from IDW. My kids really love Sonic, and I've been buying this series for them forever, even like the old Archie ones. Actually, the first Sonic that came out like 92 or whatever, that was one of the first things I ever bought with the first $5 allowance I ever got. I was paid in all $1 bills, and I threw it in the air, and I was like, I'm rich, I'm rich. And that Sonic #1 from Archie Comics was one of the first things I ever bought with allowance. So I've been personally reading the old stuff, since I was a kid, and my kids love Sonic, and they play the Genesis one we have and everything. So, and then we did just watch the new movie that's available digitally now. So that was a lot of fun. So I don't know too much about what's going on with the story. I know that Sonic was previously infected with like a mechanical disease that was slowly turning him into like a metal Sonic, and so like part of his fur was like covered in almost like a metal symbiote type of thing. So I don't know a lot of these characters. I think this one was from the newer Sonic game that came out. Not Sonic Boom, but there was another one that had pretty decent reviews and stuff on it. I can't remember what it was called though. But I do love the Sonic Mania game. That's one of the newer ones that came out that was kind of a reimagined take on the old format of Sonic. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, but like I said, it's not typically when I show you all, because I just give it to my kids when I get it. Next we have Detective Comics number 1021. The nice Bermejo cover. Cardstock, of course, with that extra dollar on there. So yeah, the industry is trying to figure out how to navigate this whole shutdown thing. They're trying to find other ways to get their books out, because this is kind of it blindsided them in a way. So even though like there's not supposed to be monopolies and stuff, but Diamond just kind of set themselves up in that vein. So they've been the company that put out books, shipped them rather to all the shops. And then even I think the people who print for DC at least, they actually shuddered from the virus too. So, scary stuff. But DC and Marvel were entertaining the thought of releasing the digitals even without print. And then a lot of the readers as well as retailers got upset because, that means people could read the books and not necessarily be encouraged to buy them when they come out in the shops who knows how many months later. So they're just kind of in a tough spot right now. So I can just encourage you guys, if your shops are still open, go in, even though there's not new stuff, find some old stuff, maybe some trades you want to pick up that you've always wanted to get, or fill in your back issues, find some art books. So that's what I'm going to do too. I'll probably try to get either a trade or art book per paycheck on top of showing off my random mystery boxes here. So next we have Batman Superman number 8. This is the bottled city of Kandor here. That in the previous issue, Zod used Ra's al Ghul's I'm blanking on it now. No, I'll remember in a second. The Lazarus Pit to resurrect the dead people of Kandor. And so there's a bunch of like tiny zombie Kryptonians flying around trying to attack Batman and Superman right now. So, as I've said previously, I've enjoyed the previous, the first, what was it, 6 issues of this series. I loved the art. This art is still serviceable, but, definitely was more excited by the previous run's art than this one. But this is interesting because we do see, Ra's al Ghul as well as Zod teaming up. And it's just kind of an interesting concept here. And then we have our punchline cover teased here, which who knows when that'll come out now. So I'm sure that'll be something that continues to go crazy on the resale market when it does come out. And then, yeah, according to Entertainment Weekly, Superman was considered superhero of the year. It's so funny, though. Basically, Superman was the first superhero comic ever. He is the most recognizable hero, but he's the one that most people have difficulty writing or connecting with, I'd say really culturally, aside from the whole death of Superman thing, the Christopher Reeve Superman was really like the height of Superman popularity until, they had the scare of Superman being permanently dead with the whole Superman Doomsday Death thing. But, he is a household name. He started it all, and he does have so many powers, and he has these traditional values and stuff, but it's weird because, it's like he's too perfect, but yet we see him and recognize him, and we know he's a hero, and it's like there's been so much deconstructing of heroes since the 80s with the whole Watchmen and Dark Knight and all that type of stuff, and we've just got away from being uplifted by our heroes, but rather dissecting them, but there's something about Superman, he's people consider him corny or outdated, but there's just something about someone who is, purely good and powerful and wholesome, so it's like we still connect on a way in society, but it's hard to like identify with him. It's like we can point to him and say he's awesome, but it's hard for us to internalize. Like with Batman, we can see ourselves in him with his faults, him not having powers, but they've rid him in a state now where he has become more or less a god at some point. He's gone toe to toe with Darkseid and stuff, and they've really elevated Batman beyond being human, but there is always that appeal of him being, an everyman. So I'm glad this came out. This is the last part of Curse of the White Knight. This is book number 8. So this concludes this story. So if nothing else, at least we finally got the last part of this story. So a lot of other series were kind of left hanging on a cliffhanger for who knows how many months, unfortunately, but we do have this wrapped up. So but it's supposed to spin out into a Murphyverse, so it's not going to be fully neatly wrapped up, I'll bet. But at least this narrative will be told, you know. So I have been enjoying it, and you know we'll continue to see where it goes. So I'm still getting over this cold that I have. I definitely want to do more things for you guys, more bonus videos and stuff. Especially now that we have this new space to go up to, you know, like it's literally like this table is cleared off and ready. I've got like a chair here with my camera mount clipped to it and everything. So, you know, it's not glamorous from the outside, but it's functional, you know. Eventually we'll have an actual like drawing table here, and then on the other side by the window will be like a computer desk for my wife when she wants to like edit her photos and stuff. So we'll see how all that goes. So this is Action Comics number 1021. I forget the artist here. I do love this guy's stuff though. I know that I keep slipping, trying to remember who it is, but this artist does quality work, so I'm glad to see. Let's see here. Yeah. Lucio Barrio. So he's doing a great job with these covers. I wish I could remember his name. It doesn't really roll off my tongue, unfortunately. But yeah, this is kind of wrapping up elements that have been put into place because of the Justice League series. Apparently a lot of double page spreads in this one. Sorry about that spine glare. That's why I've got the lights out here too. There's two overhead lights in the ceiling, but they are still putting a glare, but I'll probably turn them on for sure, especially, you know, if I'm doing nighttime videos. But I had to wait for the shop to open to get these books to show you, so didn't have a choice for the time on this one. So at the end of the Hell Rising Year of the Villain miniseries, Apex Lex has been depowered. So this takes place before that, obviously, but you know we still see a lot of elements from that story in here. You know, especially Lex himself. So, but this takes place between that. And then we see Superboy here proving his mettle. Originally, Superman told him to stay behind, but he's like, hey, you know, I'm sure they weren't expecting to have two Supermen to deal with, so that's why he chose to write it out and tag along with him. And then on the outside of the perimeter, Young Justice is trying to contain the civilians and everything. So, yeah, a lot of action going on in this issue, so looking forward to reading it and seeing exactly what's going on, but it looks good. Okay. Finally, for the new releases, this is one that it should have been in my box prior, but it was misplaced. This is the Nightwing number 70 with the variant cover here. And they are setting up the elements for the Joker War, and that'll be in Nightwing as well as Batgirl. So heads up if you are interested in that event when it does happen, because there will be stories taking place in here that are in reference to it. So now we see Rick Grayson no longer in the element of, possibly joining the Talons. He has officially overcome whatever programming they tried to impose upon him after his hospital therapy here from when he was shot in the head at Nightwing number 50, or the issues that showed the results of that. It was what was it? I think it was Batman number, I don't even remember, maybe 70 or something, where he got shot on the head by the KG Beast from a rooftop. And then issue number 50 of Nightwing was when they showed him with the scar on the side of his head, and he had amnesia, was going by Rick. So next we have a stack of 10 mystery books. So these books here are ones that, I sign off on and recommend and say, hey, these are good books, buy them. So full disclosure, the next books, I have no clue what they are. I don't know about the quality, the writing, any of that type of stuff. They're a pure 100% mystery. So I will be showing them off, and we'll see what happens with them. Like I said, not a glowing endorsement, but just content for you guys to see, and we might find some gems in the rough here. So I know that I have gotten mystery boxes from the shop in the past, but it's been probably, I don't know, it's been a long time. Back when I did my 100 subscribers contest, I did send one of the boxes to Australia, which was crazy shipping wise. I will never send out 100 mystery books again. But so I think that was the last time that I purchased one. But previously that I had bought and looked through was probably maybe 5 years ago. So, but just from what I have pulled, I haven't detail inspected these, but I noticed these are newer than the previous mystery boxes. A lot of the ones that I had seen had some older stuff, a lot of 90s stuff, with a few older books sprinkled in from the 80s and stuff. But so I see a lot of newer stuff here, so that surprised me. So we'll see what's going on here. So first we have Unearth, it looks like, number 3. This is by Colin Bunn and Kyle Strahm. So I doubt I'll have any full runs of any books in these boxes. So we'll see how much reading I'll get out of these. But it's still fun, at the end of the day, I am a consumer of content, and you guys are too, so I do see, I like the polish on the art here. It looks like it has been done digitally, I'm sure, but it's definitely not glaringly offensive or a slap shot, I would say. So it looks pretty interesting. I don't know any setup or anything here. I don't know if there's a summary. I don't see one. But it looks like we see some sort of alien goings on here. And we did just start to watch Stranger Things with my family. So this kind of has a Demogorgon sort of feel to it a little bit to me. We're on episode 5 or something. Started to watch that crazy Joe Exotic Tiger King show or whatever it's called too. Really bizarre. I do have to throw out there is a language warning with it, I'm not a person that swears or anything like that, so I always have to throw that out there. Oh, here we go. Well, we can continue this story at least. Here's Unearth number 4. So that's cool. So yeah, these things, geez. So I do apologize for the violent content here. These videos aren't made for children, so I do apologize if the violence of this is kind of shocking to you. It is to me a little bit. I don't typically buy books that have gore and stuff in them, so if you're curious, I would say this is a mature book on Earth. Alright, the next one, Strange Skies, Over East Berlin, number 3, by Jeff Loveness and Lissandro Esterin. Almost looks like a Kylo Ren saber there. Same type of thing I see. It looks like a digital produced coloring and stuff here. It does have a little bit of like a watercolory element to it, so that's kind of cool. This one is by Boom Studios too, so the cover kind of has a little bit of a little toothy quality, a little bit like sandpaper on it. So yeah, this definitely has kind of a little bit of a watercolory painted feel to it. I'm sure it is still done digitally. Look at this monster here. Wow. Yeah, this is another one. Certainly seems like something I wouldn't typically get. A lot more on the side of like a mature horror type of thing. But, yeah. Next we have Heart Attack number 2 by Sean Kittleson and Eric Sawadsky. So I have no idea what this is about either. On the cover, it looks like these guys are running from some sort of helicopter or something here. So probably some sort of wrong place at the wrong time situation. You know, they seem like, your standard people who just got in a bad spot. That's just what I'm basing it on anyway here. So, it's like they have found a spot of hiding, and then there is the ship chasing them on the cover. And then, so it does look like these guys have powers, so not sure how that went about. But maybe they're newfound powers, and that's what they're trying to deal with. Let's see. Next we have Hardcore number 2. This is by Andy Diggle and Alessandro Vitti. So let me pull this off a minute and make sure there is not any nudity real quick. Violence is one thing, but I don't want to be showing any naked images. So yeah, this is another one that I can't. I don't have all the information on here, but the guy in the car is certainly at odds with an organization here, as we can see. Car chase, these guys coming after him here. Skip ahead. chasing in that one. Next we have Black Hammer Justice League number 5. So this is by Jeff Lemire and Michael Walsh. And yeah, we can just see, I know the DC people in here. We see Mr. Mixes-Pidlick here. I'm assuming he's the big bad of the storyline who caused the teams to cross over and meet up. I don't remember a lot about Black Hammer. I think it takes place in the Mignolaverse, but I'm not 100% on it. So, just looks like, our hero's dealing with a lot of weird creatures and, your standard otherworldly type stuff. And I guess this is the last part. We see the end with a question mark there. And this book is not that old, I don't think. I saw a deceased ad in here. Yeah, this says 2019, so not bad. This was in a box of 100 books for $20. So these books are all a quarter is what you're paying for them. Here we go. Oh, I saw the back of this here, and it was upside down. And you see it says Spasm. The Spawn cover, it's a spoof on the #1 issue, and this is all cash. So this is called Splitting Image. This is a spoof book about the early days of Image, and I did actually see this one time before at a local half-price books, and I didn't pick it up at the time, so I'm glad it's in here. So we see spoofs of all the creators here. This is Jim Lee, Lotus G, God McFarthing is for Todd, Brat Lifeguard for Rob Liefeld, name withheld, Val J Tasmania, assuming that's Jim Valentino, Sly Virility, I don't know who that is. And then I'm blanking on him now. But you know who that is. He's the other guy who did X-Men a lot. Oh, jeez. And yeah, this is all just your early paper stock here. And then the ad that Rob did, the button your fly. So your shirt says bubble your gum. Oh, it bothers me that I can't remember that guy's name right now. And then you get to see some of the heroes in the back here. Here's Savage Dragon. So I just had my foot fall asleep because I'm sitting in a weird position low to the ground here. And I just remembered it's Will's Portasio is the name I was having trouble coming up with. So next we have Girl Crazy. This is by Gilbert Hernandez. I will check and see if this has any nudity in it off screen here. It does have some questionable elements in it. There were grass and stuff that I'm not going to show, but just to give you a peek inside, it's a black and white book here. It's very much in the indie scene. I believe this guy is one of the people who worked on Love and Rockets, one of the Hernandez brothers. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's the case. So, that's what that is. Next we see Axe Cop, number 2 of 3. And I've always heard about this. I think it was even a TV show as well. I never saw it though. But it's just kind of a high action comedy book from what I've heard. With a lot of just over the top elements. And this is by Ethan Nicole and Malachi Nicole. So it says written by a 6-year-old and drawn by his 30-year-old brother. So that's a pretty interesting concept, honestly. So all this is from a kid's imagination for story-wise, and then his brother drew the kid's thoughts. So pretty cool. And honestly, I would check out that full story. I think it turned into more than a mini-series, though. This was just the start of it. Then we have Capra, number 4. This is by, is that Michelle Fife? And same kind of thing. I don't know the story or the artist or anything. It looks like this is done in traditional ink here. Kind of getting like a hard-boiled detective angle from this. So it's definitely unique from what you typically see on the shelf. Yeah, and even like the coloring and stuff. So this looks like it was done traditionally here in a unique sort of way. Maybe this is even watercolored. And we see a hero here. So this visually looks interesting. I'm kind of getting some not McFarlane, but Miller type inspiration here. I know it's not good to compare artists and things like that, but I do sense an inspiration, especially like with the Sin City with the tape on the face there, the bandaging and stuff. So this is visually very interesting to me, and I'm definitely getting some Miller vibes. And even here was like the lone wolf and cub, the haircut there and stuff. So I'm not sure if that's the intent, but pretty cool. Well, that's gonna do it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing the random books. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. Stay safe from this thing going on around us right now. And as always, guys, you have a super slumber. Thanks. Bye.